Take your stuff and go. We're not dealing with you tonight, my father snapped as rain slammed against the door. My mother crossed her arms and said, "You're old enough to figure it out." I stood there soaked, holding my bag, not even understanding how it got this far. Then the door shut in my face. I heard the lock click. And just before the storm swallowed everything, my grandmother's voice cut through the house behind them with one word that changed everything. My name is Danielle Brooks. I'm 35 years old, and I've spent most of my life trying to stay invisible in a family that only noticed me when something went wrong. I work as a freelance writer, mostly from home, building my career quietly, one article at a time. It's not flashy. It's not something people brag about at family dinners, but it's mine. Growing up, I was always compared to my louder, more confident sibling. They were the one everyone praised. I was the one who stayed quiet, avoided conflict, and somehow still got blamed when tension filled the room. A few months ago, I had a financial setback that forced me to move back in with my parents temporarily. I told myself it was just for a short time. I kept my head down, helped around the house, and tried not to give them any reason to complain. I wasn't rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect. I had built something quietly, something real, something powerful, that no one in that house even knew existed. If you've ever been treated like you didn't matter in your own home, hit subscribe. This story is for people who were pushed aside when things got hard. Share your experience in the comments and let others know they're not alone. Click like or hype if you've ever had to stand alone. The hurricane warning came early that morning. The news kept repeating it over and over, telling people to prepare, to stay safe, to take it seriously. I did what I always do. I tried to help. I told my parents we should board up the windows, stock supplies, maybe even consider staying with relatives in a safer area. My father laughed it off. "We've lived here our whole lives," he said. "We don't need a lecture from you." My mother nodded along, like she always did. "You always think you know better," she added. I tried to explain calmly, but the more I spoke, the more irritated they became. It wasn't about the storm anymore. It never was. My father turned to me sharply. "You walk around like you're smarter than everyone here, but you're still living under my roof." That hit harder than it should have. I tried to step back, lower my voice, end the argument, but my mother said it. The line that always ended everything. "If you don't like it, leave." I froze. I thought it was just another empty threat. Until my father grabbed my bag and threw it toward me. "Go then," he said. The door opened and the wind pushed rain inside like it was forcing me out itself. I stepped outside, heart racing, thinking they'd stop me. They didn't. The door slammed and I wasn't inside anymore. I was standing in the storm, and neighbors were watching. At first, I thought it couldn't get worse. I was wrong. The first betrayal came within hours. My phone started buzzing with messages from relatives. "Why would you leave during a hurricane?" one text said. I stared at it, confused. Then another message came. "Your parents are worried." Sick, that's when I understood. They were already rewriting the story. According to them, I chose to leave. I called my mother. She didn't answer. I called again, nothing. The second betrayal came when I tried to go back. The storm had gotten worse, the wind louder, the rain heavier. I stood at the door, knocking, hoping maybe they had cooled down. My father opened it just enough to look at me. "You made your choice," he said, then shut it again. No hesitation. No concern. The third betrayal cut deeper than both. The next day I saw posts online, comments from family friends. "Some kids just don't respect their parents. Running off like that in a crisis is selfish." I realized they weren't just lying privately. They were shaping a narrative publicly. I found temporary shelter at a nearby friend's place, sitting there in borrowed clothes, listening to the storm rage outside. Something shifted in me. I stopped trying to defend myself. I stopped reacting emotionally. I started paying attention. Every message, every call, every word they used. Patterns started to form. It wasn't about the storm. It wasn't about one argument. It was about control. And they thought they still had it. What they didn't know was that I had been building something for years. Quietly, carefully, I ran an anonymous blog. A platform where I shared real-life stories about family dynamics, toxic patterns, and personal growth. It started small. Just a few readers, then it grew. And grew. Until it became something much bigger than I ever expected. People followed it, trusted it, Shared it. Some of my most popular posts were inspired by my own life, situations like this. Moments where silence felt easier than speaking up. I never told my family. They wouldn't have understood. Or worse, they would have dismissed it. What they didn't know was that I had documented everything. Years of notes, conversations, patterns of behavior that repeated like a script. I had connections too. Journalists who followed my work. Readers who engaged deeply with every story. I had a plan they never saw coming. And now, for the first time, I knew exactly how to use it. Every message they sent me after that night became evidence. Every lie they told added to the truth I was preparing to reveal. I stayed quiet. I let them believe I was still the same person they always controlled. Inside, I was building something they wouldn't be able to stop. My childhood friend, Maya, was the one who opened her door without hesitation. "You're staying here," she said, pulling me inside before I could even explain. She didn't ask questions right away. She just handed me a towel and made sure I was okay. Later, when I told her everything, she listened. Really listened. "They think you're alone," she said, finally. "Let them." She helped me organize everything. Messages, timelines, screenshots. We laid it all out like pieces of a puzzle. Meanwhile, my parents kept going. They called relatives. They told their version of the story over and over. Each time, it became more exaggerated, more twisted. They thought I had no way to push back. They thought I was isolated. I agreed to meet them after the storm passed. That surprised them. They sounded confident again, like they had already won. "We'll talk it out," my mother said, but I wasn't going there to talk. I was going there to finish it. The post went live an hour before I walked into that meeting. I didn't rush it. I made sure every detail was clear. Every message included, every timeline accurate. I didn't exaggerate. I didn't add emotion. Just facts, truth, and it spread faster than I expected. By the time I stepped into the room, where my parents were waiting, their phones were already buzzing. My mother looked at me, her expression tight. "What did you do?" she asked. I sat down calmly. "I told the truth," I said. My father shook his head. "You've embarrassed us." I held his gaze. "You did that yourselves." Maya stood behind me, silent but steady. My mother tried to deny everything, but I slid my phone across the table. "It's all there," I said. Messages, dates, proof. The room felt different now. The control they always held was gone, replaced by something they couldn't manage. Reality. Outside that room, people were reading, reacting, seeing them for what they had done. And for the first time, they had no way to twist it. After that, things didn't go back to normal. They couldn't. My parents lost the narrative they had controlled for years. Relatives stopped repeating their version of events. Some reached out to me directly. Others stayed silent. My grandmother called me the next day. "You did what you had to," she said softly. That meant more than anything else. I moved forward, not back. I built my life on my own terms again, this time without trying to earn approval that was never coming. My blog wasn't anonymous anymore. I didn't need it to be. I set boundaries, clear ones, and I kept them. I didn't argue anymore. I didn't explain. I just lived my life without them controlling it. They pushed me out in a storm, but I walked into my own life. If you've ever been pushed out or treated like you didn't belong in your own home, share your story in the comments so others know they're not alone. Subscribe to join a community that understands real struggles. Your voice matters more than you think. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Your story has power. If you felt a connection to mine, please subscribe and share your journey in the comments. Every hype you give this video helps empower someone else. Thank you for being here and for listening.